Hi, my name is Mike Bryan, and today I will be going over a rhetorical analysis of the differences between WhatsApp and WeChat. Sorry for posting this video so late. I had a rough week with an accounting exam that consumed all of my time. Anyway, on to the subject at hand. The two platforms I'm comparing are WeChat and WhatsApp, and that is because they are both, WhatsApp is over 1 billion users now. WeChat is getting there, but they're more commonly used in other countries than they are in the United States, and that's why I wanted to talk about these two. WeChat is the Chinese everything in one place app for everything, and then WhatsApp is in many ways very similar, has a lot of similar functions for Spanish-speaking people in various parts of the world, are a large part of the WhatsApp audience and user base. They both have obviously up-to-date versions. In my opinion, neither is buggy at all. I think if you're on Wi-Fi, they're totally fine. Maybe in a cellular network, if you have bad reception, then you might have some issues, but I've never experienced issues with them. They facilitate use by multiple languages. Both of them do. While WeChat is focused on Chinese, you can use other languages. There are very few limitations on either of these two platforms. They both, in addition to having voice messaging, texting, chatting, being able to post images and GIFs, and do video conferencing, video calls, and posting videos. In addition to that, there's location sharing. You can share documents. You can share contacts. WeChat even has video games and some other functions that I have never used. I don't have many contacts on there, but I did download it and check it out. And then they both have payment services. The WeChat payment services seem to be a little bit more extensive than the WhatsApp, but they both incorporated PayPal-like ways to send money to different people and to pay for goods and services on the internet. WhatsApp is on an all-in-one app, whereas WeChat allows for the build of mini apps that connect to the WeChat, so some of these payment services are done in that way. The audience, so anyone in the world can use these services. However, WeChat's audience is definitely directed at Chinese people, Chinese speakers. It is, like I said, their app for everything. They use it for literally every aspect of their daily lives. WhatsApp, invented in the United States, but quickly gained popularity in Central and South America with Spanish speakers due to the fact that you could use WhatsApp on Wi-Fi. Even if your cell phone wasn't actually working, you could still send communications through it, just through the Wi-Fi, in the early days, which was a remarkable thing when it first happened. Both are commonly used not only as communication tools, which is how they were born, but also as social media platforms. And I think WeChat probably is the stronger social media platform of the two of them. So in terms of the authors, this is kind of a general thing. The author is whatever individual is using whichever platform. The author can represent themselves however they like. They can represent a company or be themselves or whatever. They can talk to basically any other users. It's a little more difficult on WeChat to talk to people not in your circle, but it is possible to get the information out there still. The use of these platforms in these areas is because they've become so ubiquitous that it's almost impossible not to use them. They're super easy and fast to learn how to use, and they're also fast and easy for people to post and respond to those postings. So the types of messages that come through these two platforms, obviously text and chat, images or GIFs, and videos are your big things. But in addition to that, you've got voice messaging, you've got your video conferencing and video calls, person-to-person video calls. So lots of different types of messaging being used here. So the people that are most likely to use this, the audience for these apps, are those that live in the countries where these apps have become ubiquitous. And if in St. Louis, if you pay attention and you see an Asian student on campus or at UMSL or on the bus or somewhere like that, you'll often see them using WeChat. So I have a feeling that more than just Chinese people use it. I think that it's spread to Korea and Japan, possibly. And both of these apps are not only ubiquitous, meaning that everybody uses them, but they are constantly used throughout the day. They support all different aspects of daily life in these areas where they're used, and so I'm guessing most people that use these apps have them always open on their phone. It's the type of thing that in the United States, people would keep Facebook open on their phone all day so they could go back and forth and look and see what's going on there. In China, I'm sure they do the same thing, and WeChat is their platform. And then WhatsApp obviously is used in the United States as well, but is even more popular in other places. So the tools at use here are the typical social media tools that are used to build a brand or to post a status or whatever that might be. So you've got text, you've got images and GIFs, and you've got videos. Both platforms are moving forward with video support, and even more so than expanding their text capabilities, as is Facebook. That's the thing of the future, is all going to be video. So in terms of the three types of rhetoric that we read about, you can find all three types of rhetoric at play in both of these apps. The pathos can be seen in an emotional post or an emotional text that you're reaching out to someone for help, or if you're a person in need of some type. Logos can be seen in political type posts, which, if Facebook is any indication of the way that people post on social media around the rest of the world, then I'm sure WeChat is full of different types of political posts, even though it's in communist China. And I know that WhatsApp definitely is a tool that people have used in Venezuela during the revolution that they've been undergoing, and the changes in the government that have been occurring there. WhatsApp has been an important tool for communication for those groups. The ethos, the confidence can be found in almost any post. It really depends on the poster, whether they have the authority that is believable. So because all these types of rhetoric are at play within these apps, and these apps do so many things, these two apps can literally take the place of all other social media in those countries where they're heavily used. You could literally just live off of these two apps, and in so many ways it would benefit your life. All ages, all different types of people can use these platforms. You've got kids using WeChat and WhatsApp, and you've got grandparents using WeChat and WhatsApp, and everybody in between. It speaks to the ease of use, and it also speaks to the need of these people, or of these audiences, for this type of communication tool. So it's just a very useful tool that people have. It just continues to grow. WeChat, like I said, is at almost 1 billion users. There are advertisements included in WeChat. WhatsApp is actually over 1 billion. They're owned by Facebook, and they don't include third-party ads. Another interesting, of the two, I think that WeChat is the more interesting platform. That's why I chose it, even though it wasn't on the list of platforms that Professor Klein wanted us to look at. And the WeChat has different types of accounts, and this helps create credibility and the ethos of the poster. So there's service, subscription, and enterprise. Those are all official type of accounts that you have to pay for. And these types of official accounts can be used for things like hospital pre-registration. If you're on your way to the emergency room, you can go into WeChat and actually log into the hospital and let them know that you're on the way. There's also credit card services in addition to the payment services where you can sign up for credit cards and check your credit score and things like that. They added another aspect called Moments, which is more focused on social media. So it's more of a Facebook type aspect with people posting statuses and sharing posts and doing things that are more common on our Facebook. Recently, they've added something called City Services. City Services, you can pay a parking ticket. You could even make a doctor's appointment, all sorts of interesting things. It literally is the app for everything. There's a tool called a heat map that is pretty controversial over in China because it tracks crowd density. People think that the government is using that to watch groups that are gathering for whatever reason, which is totally believable because it is China. Then there's the enterprise aspect, which businesses can use to allow their employees to chat with each other outside of their personal WeChat accounts. They can have a business-related one. They can do their scheduling requests. They can clock in and out, all sorts of interesting things there. And the list goes on. There's probably 4, 5, maybe 6 other really cool features that WeChat has that all 3 types of rhetoric would come into play in each of these different aspects. So that is all I have for you today in my rhetorical analysis of WeChat and WhatsApp. Hope you enjoyed, and tune in next time for some more information on social media.